This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your source for the latest Iowa ag news headlines right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, Mark Magnuson, and Andy Peterson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Monday, July 21st of 2025, and we are so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I talked with Jeremy Parsons. He is the CEO of the Iowa State Fair, and we had our conversation as we quickly approach the beginning of the Iowa State Fair on August 7th. We'll also have a check of the closing markets with Sam Trainor of agmarket.net. But first, here's my conversation with Jeremy.
And we are gearing up for another great state fair very soon. It's hard to believe that we are less than a month away. Jeremy, this is your third fair as the CEO of the Iowa State Fair. What are you looking forward to this year?
Yeah, it's hard to believe. You're right. 3 weeks away, actually. From the fair, and just excited to get everybody here on the grounds. Excited to get another edition of the Iowa State Fair underway.
And one of those things I think that's very exciting about the state fair is the constant updates that are being done to keep the experience great for the people who are here, also great for the exhibitors who are here. The horse barn right now is getting some of those renovations. Tell us a little bit about what is being changed and how that's going to benefit both the people attending the fair and the people who are going to be showing their horses here.
Overall, it's a $40 million renovation of our livestock barns. Obviously, we completed the sheep barn last year. This year, of course, we are moving into the horse barn. So it's a two-phase project, about a $13 million renovation of the horse barn. What will you see this year at the fair will be a completely restored exterior. All the bricks been tuck-pointed, new windows, new paint, roof repairs, kind of those types of things. Also, in the horse barn, brand new restrooms on the north end of the building. So brand new, fully ADA accessible family restrooms, men's and women's restrooms, all those types of facilities. So definite upgrades there. Following the fair, though, really is when significant changes will occur. The stalls will be removed from the horse barn, and we'll have some information soon on how you can maybe purchase the door from one of those horse stalls. All the stalls removed, brand new floor put in, actually with radiant heat. That will help us with those shoulder season horse shows in the early spring and late fall. Brand new 400 brand new portable stalls we put in the horse barn, brand new offices, new electric. Essentially, the building all gets gutted and will be somewhat brand new on the interior for the 2026 fair.
And you mentioned that sheep barn being fully renovated now. The entrance to it is stunning at this point. I know last year we were talking about kind of some logistical things that we're waiting to line up to get that done the right way. And I just saw it the other day, and it just looks incredible now.
It's fully restored back to its original splendor when it was built in 1915, and really proud that we have one of the four barns completely checked off the list and partway now into the second barn.
And of course, still working on that timeline of getting all those barns renovated. After the horse barn, what's next?
We'll be moving really into the cattle and swine barn kind of at the same time. There's some economies of scale, some efficiencies that we can take advantage of when we do those two buildings, but those plans will be announced soon. Actually, we're working right now, finalizing some of the architectural and engineering plans. Of course, at the same time, we also announced earlier this spring a new ag education facility that will be built in the future. Thanks to some funding received from Governor Reynolds and the state legislature, a brand new ag education facility on the north side of the grounds, kind of north of the Animal Learning Center, and more details about that will be coming soon for sure.
And we're looking forward to hearing those details. And we know the Iowa State Fair in general is a great opportunity for that ag education, not only for, say, 4-H and FFA exhibitors who are here, but the general public. And we talk a lot every year about how the average person is further and further removed from the farm. And when you're here, not only are you having a good time trying some great fair food, checking out the entertainment, but you are in the midst of livestock shows. I think a very fun thing is that when the Super Bowl contestants are getting here, they're being walked down the street, right into the barn. Right. People get to see that happening. And I think there's no greater opportunity to have that ag education. You almost have a captive audience.
It's why we exist here at the Iowa State Fair. Agriculture is a cornerstone of what we do, but that cornerstone really is kind of split in two ways. One piece of that cornerstone truly is the competition side. It's for the producer. The fair is a place to come and showcase your best livestock, and to learn more about the livestock industry. But then on the other side, it's really about ag education. How do we connect kind of the rural audience of Iowa with the urban audience? And we do that here at the fair through many, many ways. For many people, the only time they've ever attended a livestock show in their life has been, while they're here at the fair. So we really try to tie those things together. And through the food and the entertainment and the fun parts of the fair, we hope that while you're here, you also learn something specifically about Iowa agriculture.
And I think the State Fair is also a great representation about how there's kind of some, I want to say, under the radar ways that agriculture impacts your life. And it's kind of weird to think that food might be a little under the radar, but it kind of is. And a lot of the new fair foods are a great exhibition of that. I know the 3 fair food finalists were just announced. Looks like a great selection, and as we were talking before we got going, all Iowa businesses.
More than 60 new foods introduced at this year's fair, and our 3 finalists all happen to be Iowa businesses. In fact, I laughed. It's only appropriate that the 3 final fair foods this year involve scotcheroos, pork, and ranch dressing. And really those 3 food items do that. It's the Scotcheroo Shake by Over the Top, which is an ice cream store here in Des Moines. It's the 3 Little Pigs, which are 3 ham ball variations done by What You Smokin' out of Luther, Iowa. And then the Chicken Bacon Ranch Egg Roll, which is from a restaurant in Indianola. So again, people often forget that food is agriculture. When you eat, you are part of the agriculture story. And so one of our goals here at the fair is really trying to connect that fair food that you enjoy with the idea that it really is also a chance for you to learn about Iowa agriculture.
All right, Jeremy, that's lots of great information today. We're taking a look at the fair coming up. Is there anything else that is sticking out to you as particularly exciting for this year?
I think for this year, we just continue to double down on our focus on the fair goer and really making the experience even better. And so the brand new Shivers Plaza is an example of that, right across from the Livestock Pavilion. Brand new permanent restrooms, places to sit, picnic tables, shade. It's a brand new fully accessible playground in the Fun Forest area of the fairgrounds. We've added more benches and picnic tables and shade really throughout the fairgrounds. So again, we just really hope that you have an even more enjoyable time while you're here August 7th through the 17th.
Thanks again to State Fair CEO Jeremy Parsons for joining us as he does every year heading into the Iowa State Fair. We'll take a look at the closing markets next, but first here's a word from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and it's time now to take a look at the closing markets with Sam Trainor of agmarket.net. Sam, starting off this week, what do we see going on in the grains today?
Seeing the grain markets pull back a little bit here to start the week. Corn futures were down about 4 to 5 cents, and soybeans were down about 9 to 12 cents. So some of the optimism that we had coming into the end of last week surrounding this heat dome that we're going to be experiencing here for the next 3 or 4 days was kind of offset by some of the sweeping rains that we got throughout the weekend. You and I were just talking about here before we got on. Sounds like a large portion of the Midwest, you guys over there in Iowa, as well as us here in Illinois, saw pretty good rains that lasted pretty much from Saturday morning up until it was still actually raining here this morning in the office. So nothing too heavy or no damaging winds. It was just a nice steady rainfall throughout the weekend and provided a lot of moisture to a lot of areas that is going to be very beneficial moving forward. We're at a very important stage of this crop here where corn plants filling kernels here and pollinating. So this was a very timely rain, and I think it did a lot of good for this crop.
You touched on it a little bit already, but while there are a few reports that we've seen here in Iowa of damage, namely flood damage, a little bit of wind damage, it feels like there's really not enough there to become a major market factor yet.
Not yet. I think that's the key there. I mean, I think some of these some of the issues that may be experiencing with some of the flooding and damaging winds that you're speaking of, I think a lot of that might not be able to be realized until the combines start rolling and get out in the field, especially when you're driving down the road right now. Everything from the roadside looks good because the end rows are standing up tall. But if you get out into the field, I think come harvest time, some of those flooded out areas and lower lying areas that maybe you can't see from the highway will get exposed a little bit, and that might be when we start to see a little bit of the damage that you're experiencing there that you mentioned. But as for right now, you're right. There's nothing that is turning this market around here as far as anything threatening.
Then over on the livestock side of things, how are cattle and hogs trading today?
We had a firm day in the cattle markets, and hogs actually came back and finished higher on the day as well. Cattle led the way, continues to be the same story here. Demand is very strong. Despite some of these higher prices, the main story is that production continues to decline here, and we're trying to catch up to the cash market. Cash market continuing to trade at a premium to the futures, and we're just trying to catch up to those prices here. But as I mentioned on the hog side of things, we were down most of the day today, but here at the close, looks like those October hogs finished about 35 cents higher. So green across the screen on the livestock side of things anyway, not so much on the grain markets.
And you mentioned with the grain markets that some of those issues could get realized later on once it gets through the combine. For the livestock side of things, with that heat dome we're seeing, it's very hot outside, and there could be some health issues with livestock herds. But that's another one of those things where that issue might not be realized later until those livestock are harvested, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Right now, what everybody's paying attention to is some of these pastures. I mean, pastures are green right now. The cattle have plenty to eat, and weights are coming in at really, really great levels here. So there's really nothing to be concerned of right now. Now, if some of this rain were to turn off and the heat sticks around for a while, some of these pastures dry up. And the weights start to go down a little bit. That could be a little bit of a story that turns this thing around. But for right now, everything still seems pretty good as far as the livestock are concerned.
All right, Sam, lots of great information today. For anyone who wants to get in touch with the team at agmarket.net, how can they do that?
Best way would be to visit our website at agmarket.net or give us a call here in Normal, 1-800-779-1515.
Thanks again, as always, Sam, and we'll talk again soon.
Very good. Thank you, Riley.
That again was Sam Trainor of agmarket.net. We'll take a look at how the numbers close through the market window at iowaagnet.com.
September corn down 4 3/4 at 403 3/4. August soybeans down 12 3/4 at 10.15 even. August soybean meal down 3.50 at 2.70.50. Soybean oil up 25 cents at 56.07. Chicago wheat down 4 even at 5.42 1/4. Kansas City hard red wheat down 3 1/4 at 5.25 3/4. Spring wheat down 14 1/2 at 5.60 even. September oats down 7 1/4 at 3.59 even. On the Merc, August live cattle up $1.67 at 225.22. August feeders up 3.60 at 327.60. August lean hogs up 87 cents at 107.35. Pork cutout up 50 cents at 111.02. And August Class 3 milk down 14 cents at 17.63.
That's been a check of the markets, and that also brings us to the end of today's episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on social media at Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and find our video content as well as previous episodes of AM/PM on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. Don't forget as well our free morning, midday, and closing market podcasts, as well as the Iowa Ag Matters podcast and Pots of Potential. Find those on your favorite podcasting services at Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and YouTube. and on our website at iowaagnet.com under the podcast tab. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Ashton Jolly, Andy Peterson, and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.